Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the channel here by the Tracks Homestead. I wanted to do a quick video of giving you guys a garden update and show you what's going on in the garden, and then some projects that I got coming up for videos. So let's walk around the garden and take a look. Okay, over here we got the corn. It's looking pretty good. It's rained pretty much every day for the last month, so it's really muddy in here. If you can see the steps, there's still water laying in the rows. So I haven't been able to get in here and fertilize like I usually do. You know, every other week I try to fertilize, but I haven't been able to get in here and do much fertilizing or weeding. So we do have some weeds and some crops that need some fertilization. But the corn is growing. It likes all this rain. You can see we're starting to get the little silkies. And we're getting the tassels on the top. I'd say it's probably about 7 foot tall on the tallest ones. The shorter ones are probably about 6. So if you've seen a video of us picking garlic, we picked most of the garlic out of this raised bed. We left these over here, they weren't quite ready. Our strawberries are going crazy. I don't know if we'll get strawberries this year. They're mainly just shooting out runners and spreading out. A little weed right there. So as we walk down, check out the corn. You can see all the water laying. It's not raining right now, the sun's out, it's nice, but it's supposed to rain this afternoon. So, and here's the little field of corn that I planted later. I think it was like 3 weeks later, so it's almost catching up to the other corn. Back here we got some hot peppers. These plants aren't very big right here, but they got a lot of peppers on them. I need to get in here and pick some of these. Peppers are looking good. I was out here last night walking around, and there was just so many ladybugs in this garden. I couldn't believe it. They were over all the plants. Got some chili peppers down here growing. And then these on the end here, jalapenos. They're looking good though. Some nice jalapenos on there. And we haven't watered the garden in a month because it's rained every day. But we weren't able to get in here and tend to the garden either, so that makes it a little challenging. Over here, our okra's finally starting to grow. It's actually got a little okras on it. They were slow growing this year. They were a little slow last year, and then they just took off, but these have just been stunning the growth. I don't know. Partially that's because of the too much rain. In the next row over here from the okra, we got cucumbers. These on the end here are pickling cucumbers. We got some pickles in there. Need to get out here and pick them now that it's a little drier. Tried to get out here yesterday afternoon, but it was just too wet. We ended up getting out here in the evening just to take a look at what was going on. That's a big pickle. Some good sized ones there. So these 4 pickling cucumbers, and then down here we got the big cucumbers. They're growing good. Finally got up on this trellis we got here, this cattle panel. They were on the ground and the rain was beating them down when they were smaller. I didn't think they were going to make it, but they finally got up off the ground. They're doing a lot better now. They definitely need some fertilizer. There's a lot of pickles or cucumbers hanging there. Definitely going to need some fertilizer. Oh, there's a bee. Pollinating. Glad to see it. I know up north they haven't had a lot of bees this year, if any. We've had quite a few. Surprisingly, they're all over. So that's good to see. I'm glad to see the bees. Come down through here. These are all cucumbers. These 4 on the end of this row, we planted just seeds in the ground, and the 4 over here we started in the greenhouse. And the ones that we put in the garden as seeds almost have caught up to the ones we started in the greenhouse. So I don't know which is better, but when the weather's bad, it's better to keep them in the greenhouse, you know, to get them started. And we didn't get a trellis up over here for our butternut squash, so it's just taking over the ground. It's even coming over here and getting into the okra, so I'm gonna have to get in here and tend to that. I wasn't able to with all the rain. I just can't get out here. It's too muddy. You sink up to your knees. There's some butternut squashes in here though. There's quite a few actually. They come over here to this end. They're doing good. Doing good. And down here we got some zucchini. I think these 3 or 4 here on the end are zucchinis. And we started them from seeds too, right out here in the garden. There's a zucchini forming now and some flowers. So it's coming along, And a couple more butternut squashes that were in the greenhouse down here on the end. We just wanted to get them in the ground so they didn't die. So this is a row of weeds right here that when the tiller broke, I wasn't able to finish tilling. I was actually tilling right here when it broke. So I need to till this down. We didn't plant anything in the ends of these 2 rows yet. We had some ideas and we ended up not getting out here because of the mud. So we're going to till it down and probably put our fall crop, you know, our cabbage and broccoli for the fall over here. So here's some tomatoes. I think these first 4 or 5 are cherry tomatoes. They're finally doing good. They did not like all this rain. And I was able to get out here last night and put a little bone meal on them, just to give them a little something since they're starting to flower. I'm going to try to get out here today and give them a full fertilizer. But we got some little cherries under there, little cherry tomatoes. And I think somewhere about here is where they start being the bigger tomatoes. I think these here are tomatoes, these 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 tomatoes. They got some tomatoes on them. And then here's the beefsteak tomatoes. And these, I don't know if you've ever grown beefsteak tomatoes, but they're a little bit challenging. They're totally different than the regular tomatoes when you grow them. They just act different. They like different conditions. They're slower growers. But if you can keep them healthy, the tomatoes off of them are just so delicious. I like a big beefsteak tomato. That's really good. And then here's just regular slicing tomatoes. We got quite a few of those. Not a whole lot of tomatoes on them yet, but they are flowering. And the bees are out here, so I'm sure there'll be plenty of tomatoes. We got some going right there, look pretty good. They look pretty healthy, considering that they were laying on the ground the day before yesterday, and I snuck out here before the rain came and tied them back up. And you know, tomatoes don't like to touch the ground. They get a lot of diseases from that, so I was able to get them tied back up, and they're looking pretty healthy, especially with no fertilizer. I'm kind of shocked. So yeah, I'm glad to see they're doing good. This little branch broke off of one of the plants and I stuck it in the ground, hopefully maybe it will root and come back. If it stays cloudy and not too hot and with a lot of rain, it might come back. And then here we got some bell peppers. The plants look small, but they're hanging in there. They got some bell peppers on them. Try to pick those as soon as they're ready to give the plant a chance to maybe grow a little bit more, because they didn't get so big this year yet. They don't like all this rain either, you know. Peppers don't like it too wet. They like the soil nice and warm, and when it rains a lot, it cools the soil off. So, but they got flowers and peppers on some of them. And these here are banana peppers. They're doing really good. Plants aren't that big, but they're shooting out some nice peppers. So these are all banana peppers here. There's a nice sized one right there. And that's all banana peppers. Okay, on this next row, we got the crookneck squash. And this is a lot of crookneck squash plants. So we'll be giving some of this away, I'm sure. We'll freeze some, but we'll definitely have to give some away. And the grass is starting to take over these rows. I wasn't able to get the tiller through here because it broke, so now that we got the new tiller, I'll get out here when I can, run it down these rows and knock this grass down. Then it's not such a big job just to till in between the rows and then hoe in between the plants. So a lot of crookneck squash plants. Got some nice crooknecks on these couple. These 4 on the end we started in the greenhouse. The other ones we just put out here as seeds. So these 4 on the end have produced. We've already picked a few crookneck squashes and ate them. They were really good. So we got a bunch more coming in. These 4 beans are wax beans, and I'm thinking they're gonna need some kind of trellis or pole. So I need to get something out here on them. And then we got some peas. We've already picked and ate some peas. They were really good. These peas are doing really good this year. There's some ladybugs right there, quite a few. But these peas are doing nice. Got some peas on there. Squash. Little crook necks. And there's some more bees. Like to see the bees. And then these 2 rows on the end are all bush beans. And they're looking really healthy this year. They're actually starting to turn a little yellow on top. They probably need some fertilizer. I haven't fertilized in like 3 weeks, almost 4. So, but if we look under here, there's a lot of beans. They're just starting to put them out. A lot of beans coming out. Gonna have a lot of green beans. That's good. I like green beans, and they freeze easy, and they store easy. I'm sure we'll give some away. We usually give a lot of our garden away. We just keep enough for what we need and whatever else we usually give to people. So that's the whole garden on this side. And let's go into the fence here. And it is really muddy and wet in here. This area of the garden really holds the moisture. So our carrots that finally came up are doing really good. Carrots were a little challenging this year to get started. Last year I just threw the seeds in the ground and they took off. This year I had to plant them twice. They didn't want to grow. I think the water, I know one time it rained real hard and washed the seeds away. Grass is getting bad in here too. I'm gonna have to get the tiller going. So that first row I just showed you was regular orange carrots. These here are red carrots. And they're a little bit harder to grow than the orange carrots. But they're doing pretty good. I went around where these bare spots are, and you can see they're starting to sprout where I replant it. And our radishes, we already picked a batch of radishes and ate them, and they were really good. And then seems like this second batch isn't doing so good. The rain has really just beat them down. It's time to pick some of these, it looks like. And then I went and replanted in between where we picked, and those are starting to come up. Looks like bugs are having a heyday on them. It's funny because I don't see as many ladybugs in this part of the garden. But definitely got some radishes. They look like they need some fertilizer too. So this is all radishes here. And then we got 2 rows of yellow onions and 2 rows of red onions. And our onions are actually doing really good this year. If you look, you can tell there's a bulb under there. It's got a big fat neck on it. On a lot of these, it looks like they got a decent sized bulb going. And the dirt's just been washed away and washed away. I keep having to pile it back up on them because it's just rained so hard for so long here. And then this is a row of beets, and they are doing really good this year. And look, there's some beets. They're there, they're growing. They need some fertilizer. Everything in this garden needs fertilizer. And then this is a row of turnips. And there is some Gigantor turnips. And I had roasted turnips the other night. My wife made roasted turnips with some of the turnips out of the garden. She picked a few. And that was the first time I ever had roasted turnips, and they were really good. Really good. I think that's my new favorite, is the roasted turnips. They're good in soups though. I like them in soups and stews and stuff. So they're doing good. They're doing real good. And then our pumpkins over here. Our pumpkins started off really strong. Now they're kind of yellowing. Probably need some fertilizer, and I just now see that there's some grass growing up on their mound. So, like I said, we just haven't been able to get in here with this rain. But we do got some pumpkins down here. I'm gonna try to rotate them around a little bit. There's a little one there. And over here, we got one. Here's a good sized one. Here's a good sized one. The little one there. And this is cantaloupes here. And it is just going wild. It must love all this rain. It must be perfect temperatures, perfect conditions for them, because they are going crazy. We didn't grow cantaloupes last year, so I'm surprised to see they're doing this well. You know, I wasn't sure how they were going to do, but they are doing great. Hope we get some cantaloupes. That's exciting. And then over here is our watermelons. Our watermelons are not doing too good. They do not like all this rain. They like it dry and arid. So we'll see how they turn out. I'm gonna try to fertilize them today. They like a lot of fertilizer, watermelons do. So that's this part of the garden. So there's a little garden update for you. I'll try to get some footage of us picking some of that stuff so you guys can see the harvest. So I want to talk about a couple projects that I got coming up for videos and things I need to get done. I'm just going to turn them into videos so you guys can follow along. But one thing I need to do is this right here. I bought the place last year. And I don't know why they put the gates way back here and not out at the road. But a project I'd like to do is take these gates down and sand them, prime them and paint them, and then move them out there to the road where they should be. There's a lock on this one that was left, so we'll have to cut that off. And I don't know about getting these are old well casings that they drove in the ground for the posts, so I don't know if we're going to be able to get them out of the ground. I think they're about 4 or 5 feet deep, so I might end up having to dig down around them and cut them off underground and leave them there. I'm going to try to pull them out with the Kubota, but I don't know if they're going to come out. And this gate on this side is a little bent up. You can see the end's bent. Somebody must have hit it with their car. So I'm going to try to straighten this out before we sand them and paint them, see if I can salvage it. If not, I'll have to get a new gate for this side. The other side is fine, so we'll see if we're going to need to get a new gate. I'm going to try to straighten it out though. But that's an upcoming project for the farm, is get these gates sanded, painted, and moved out there to the front. And also, I need to get in there and clean the chicken coop. I need to get all the wood chips out of the inside of the coop. I like to spread them around in the run in the back, and then put fresh in the coop, scrape the perches and the walls, and change the straw in the nesting boxes. So that'll be a project that's coming up real soon too. But I just wanted to give an update of the channel, show the garden, and I'll continue to put out videos for your enjoyment. So I hope you guys stick around and follow along with us and see how everything's going. I really appreciate everybody that's subscribed in the last couple of weeks. We've got quite a few new subscribers, and I appreciate everybody watching the videos and watching them till the end. If you could please hit the like button, it really helps out the channel. And if you're watching this and not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell, all notifications, and we'll see you on the next one. Have a good day.